If you have a C6 Corvette that's supercharged, or you're just thinking about supercharging your C6 Corvette, there's some things that you need to know that are must-haves on these cars. So let's get right into it. So for those that do not know, this is my 2006 Pro-Charged LS2 Corvette. This car is making about 570 horsepower to the rear wheels. And today, we're gonna be going over everything that I think that you should do if you supercharge one of these cars. So real quick, the first thing that I think that you need to do if you supercharge these cars is to put on long tube headers. Now, not just any long tube headers. I specifically recommend myself, if you can get away with it, catless long tube headers. Now, the reason that I say catless long tube headers on these cars is these cars are notorious for plugging up the cats. And it's not an if, it's more of a when. And the more boosts that you run, it's just going to continue to be a problem. In my opinion, long tube headers that are catless with an X-pipe and an off-road X-pipe, if you can get it to pass emissions in your state, is the best thing that you can do for these cars. And it's gonna pick up horsepower while doing so. Some people may argue that the high flow cats work, but I just personally have heard so many bad things that I just don't think that it's a good idea. You could hollow out your cats, something like that, but if you can pass emissions in your state, long tube headers with a catless pipe is the way to go on a Corvette if I were to do one. The second thing that I think you should purchase, if you have a C6 Corvette and you want to supercharge it, is a catch can. The goal of a catch can is to relieve crankcase pressure in your engine, and crankcase pressure is going to significantly go up if you boost your car. This can itself came from Mighty Mouse. Nice little fitment right here. Easy to hook up. Everybody's got their opinions on how to, plumb it, of course, but it wasn't hard to do. It wasn't super expensive, and it's definitely worth the money. Easy mod. Modification number 3 would be a 160-degree thermostat. So Morimoto sells a thermostat for these cars, and it's 160 degree compared to the stock 187 that these cars do come with. And there will be arguments that the only thing that the thermostat does is it's obviously going to open sooner with a colder temperature, and that it still won't control the temperature that well on hot summer days. Well, I will say, even though I don't live in Texas and I'm not letting this thing just set for hours outside, I've never seen extremely high oil temps, extremely high coolant temps, nothing of that nature. This car likes to run about 190 coolant, about 220 oil on a normal 85 degree summer day, and I can beat on it, and I still don't see coolant temps over 210 to 215 at the maximum. Now, one of the things I would like to pair with that is very important is that radiator constantly needs to be cleaned out. It's gonna get worse once that intercooler's in there. I just take an air wand and blow mine out real gently because they will catch a lot of road debris, leaves, dust, things of that nature as you're driving down the road. Number 4 on my list of things that you should do for these cars is a transmission cooler. On these automatic cars, 6L80Es, you really don't want to get hot. 4L60 that comes in the 05, same thing. You do not want to get it hot. So you can pick up a cheap transmission cooler from Amazon. Amazon's where I got mine. If I remember correctly, it's a Hayden 678, and it was like a $70 cooler, and it has worked phenomenal on this setup. You can see here, this is where the radiator plumbs in to it. This was the old line that went to the radiator, and it just circulates through and it goes to the trans cooler now. And so it worked out really good. It's very easy to do. I personally think it was great, and it was like a $70 mod, so you cannot beat that. The 5th and final mod I would do to this car, and this one's a little bit different, but I would get on HP tuners and I would turn your fan on early. So these fans do have problems with melting. The fan controllers do from the factory, but I've never had a problem with that at all, and I changed my fan setting, it would be about 4 years ago now. So factory, these cars, the fan will kick onto low speed at like 204 degrees coolant temp, and then it kicks onto high speed at 235. So if I remember correctly, we brought my car down 20 degrees from both of them. So I think my fan kicks on at like 190 and like 210, I think is what my 2 fan speeds are. And it has worked absolutely phenomenal for this setup. I have no forms of overheating, and I can make several back-to-back hits without seeing over 200 degrees coolant temperature in the summer. All of these mods that I've listed off, I think are the best things that you can do for your car, just from a reliability aspect and longevity, keeping these cars running for a very long time and being consistent and performing well on the street or on the track. Hopefully all these mods work out for you. There is some other things you can do. A lot of guys are doing aftermarket radiators and stuff like that, but this is just what's worked really well for me, and I wanted to give you my opinion. But anyway, that's all I got for now. Peace out. We'll see you in the next one.